summertime thing, or is it always there?
They've always got that one around. So
Gotcha. All right, nice. Well, hopefully it's a little pick me up for you today, and get you through it. I'll tell you what, I don't know about you. Sometimes this cold weather just drags me down. Like I just don't know how to handle it physically. You know what I mean?
I do. The dogs don't want to go out. I don't want to go out. And then here at the zoo, it's just we're always struggling to keep the animals warm and fed and everything good, and hoping heaters don't break. And it just seems like it's just always one more thing. And you're always cold.
And you're cold.
You're just outside. You're just always cold.
Always cold. It just never goes away. And I got big dogs, so they love to be outside. So I can't get them to come inside, which isn't the worst. I mean, they're big and hairy and drooly and all that stuff. So sometimes it's not the worst to just say, you know what, you like it out there. That's your place for right now.
Have fun. Come back in half an hour.
Exactly. No, but how about your animals there at the zoo, Jay? Are there any that actually enjoy what we're going through right now?
We've got some of the colder weather species. Sage, our male snow leopard, he's outside in the snow and he enjoys it. We do bring him in at night when it's like really frigidly cold in the evening, but a lot of that is just because we want to make sure he's got access. So if he wants to come inside and be warm, he can, but we can't leave a door open without really overtaxing the heat in the building. So on really frigid nights, we'll bring him inside, but he's going to go back outside today in this weather and he'll enjoy it. The otters, they love this. We got some great footage on social media last week of Rhett, our male, was out sliding around in the snow and the ice into his pool. And but all of our tropical ones, they're like, yeah, not so much.
No.
And when there's a nicer day, like 35 to 40 degrees and sunny, we can get some of those more tropical animals outside and access for a while, and they enjoy that. But we haven't had any of those days in a bit. So we're looking forward to this weekend. I think it's supposed to hit 50, and
I saw 55 like Tuesday next week, so that
means we will have flamingos and wallabies and hornbills. We will have all sorts of stuff outside this weekend, enjoying the heck out of that.
Well, and I'll tell you what, Jay, I know February is Free Fridays February. If it's nice next Friday, perhaps you'll have just a banner day at the zoo for the month.
Well, I'm hoping so. Even with these temperatures, we've still had 200 to 250 people coming on the first 2 Free Fridays. It was kind of surprising to me because I don't know that I would have gone anywhere if I'd had the choice. But last year, we were comparing numbers, and it must have been like 80 degrees last February because we looked at it, and like a couple of the weekends, it was 1,400, 1,800 people on Free Fridays. That's a busy day anytime for us, so It must have been a beautiful February.
Evidently. Well, that's awesome. So when it's not a Free Friday in February, what is like today? What will you get for attendance?
There's almost always at least 1 or 2 diehards.
Okay.
Like the last couple weeks, we will get like a family that's visiting, and then usually one of our members who likes to come in and walk through, and then earlier in the week, we had one paying guest that came by themselves, and they just wanted to go and sit and relax and enjoy the tropical rainforest for a couple of hours, which they did. So, I mean, it's not high attendance, but you know what? We're here for the folks that want to come out.
Well, and I feel like that would make it, I don't know, just like there's something about being alone in that setting, where it's like just you, the animals, the staff walking around, you just, there's something like peaceful to that, for me at least. I don't know, maybe not.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, you're pretty much the only person in there. You got the waterfall going. There's birds chirping. I mean, it's like you're in a Snow White film or something. I don't know.
So Free Fridays in February. This has been a long-running tradition at the zoo. Tell us about this, why you do it. How about some of those things?
So I honestly can't tell you why it started. It predated me, taking on the director role. But as we talked to the city, and we work through this, it's kind of not just because it's been traditional and people have expected it. I mean, we don't have to maintain it, but it's important. There's a few things that we've really been trying to do, and you'll find that a lot of zoos do this, but the city's focusing on accessibility. And we really want to, we're not an expensive, facility and zoo to come and visit with your family, especially if you get a membership through the society. That makes it very affordable, but that still doesn't always put it in everybody's means. So by doing this, like the Free Friday options, it puts us at a time when it's not going to conflict with field trips and, because field trip season makes it crazy. And then there's summer and events. And so it gives people that time to be able to come to the zoo, have some time to themselves in a way that is accessible to them. We also, last year, we joined the Museums for All organization, and that provides like a reduced cost access to people that qualify for those museums for all like family memberships and plans. So we're really trying to work hard to figure out like how we can become more accessible, to more people in the community. But we still also have to, keep ourselves afloat with revenues and that. So it's
Yeah.
kind of that balance, but it's our way of giving back as best we can.
Well, and I know you could easily throw it, say in July, one day in July, but again, those are your high volume months, and for a zoo that's open all year, you got to rely on those revenues for that. So I understand that.
I'll tell you what happens because I have worked at most zoos again have a couple free days. When you have a free day in the middle of summer, it pulls everybody out. They sneak in alcohol. You get a lot of vandalism, and you make a lot of 911 calls that day because people don't hydrate and they don't take care of themselves, and you get a lot of people that pass out from heat stroke. I have been through this in a lot of places, and I can tell you I have had to deal with EMT teams so many times when this happens because you get such an influx of people. They bring in all their own stuff and it just becomes overwhelming, but there's not self-care in those situations, and then we have to care for them.
I never thought about that. Literally had never thought about that. I mean, wow. Huh. I never thought about that, Jay. That's something. That is something. Well, so Free Fridays in February. We've got two more, tomorrow the 21st and then the 28th. So check that out, and hopefully weather is good. Now, when you have like really cold days like we have right now, do people still come out for those free days? Like you mentioned, it's real slow.
We had probably an average of 250 each of the Fridays the last couple of weeks, which was really surprising with the temperatures. But, we've got the zoo lab. They can go in and they can relax in the zoo lab and enjoy spending time around all the smaller animals in there. It's warm in there. There are some people love to see Sage the snow leopard, watch the otters playing in the snow, see the guanacos, even Rain, our mule-foot hog. She roots around in the snow and talks to everybody. But then now with the reopening of Katofer, they can still see the tiger. They can still see the primates that are in that building. And the rainforest is still always a favorite, warm or cold, but especially in the cold weather. The benches are full. People just spend time in there relaxing, and they come out for it. So to my shock and surprise, even when it's 12 degrees out, we got a couple hundred people. So
yeah, well, I venture a guess it's probably real busy after school. Families getting out of school and looking for something to do. They come out to the zoo. I bet the kids around 3:30, 4 o'clock, you just get an influx of families.
We get a few people right at that, but a lot of those are often members because the members know that they can come and they can spend, a half an hour or whatever else before the zoo closes, see their favorite things with their kids. So you're right. And again, in the spring, summer, the splash park that's right here nearby, they also want to go and hit that after they've done their lap through the zoo. So
I got you. Well, again, Jay Pratte is the executive director of the Miller Park Zoo in Bloomington, our guest on the Zoom call today. Back to the cold a little bit, Jay. Has it been challenging at all this year? I mean, has it created not just challenges with animal upkeep? Have you had facility issues or anything like that thanks to this cold?
So since I have been here, almost 2.5 years now, if you can believe that, I have really been working at trying to address some of those facility issues that were not handled before. So, for example, when you come in, our guanaco and pig barn now has doors actually on it. So these animals can contain heat in there. We've been trying to build more structures, put up heat lamps, but I still have a really aging infrastructure. I am excited because I've already had 2 sets of heaters go out over the last month or so, and it's put a whole bunch into repairs, and we had to move some tropical animals and get them taken care of quickly. But the city this year, for the fiscal year, had approved a really large project to replace the old units on the roof of the Katofer building in the rainforest. Mm-hmm. So that's actually starting to go underway now. So those units that are old and tend to fail at least once or twice a winter when it gets really cold are going to be replaced so that hopefully next winter I won't have to go through this again.
Yeah, no doubt. And do you build those things into your budget, whether it's contingencies or things are coming? Do you build that into your budget?
So my first year was very challenging because I didn't have any experience with historic spending and whatever. And then after that first year, I learned that the city really had a lot of opportunities for like capital project requests and capital equipment requests that I've been able to take advantage of with the guidance of like city leadership. And that's where these funds come from. Like if they can approve it ahead of time and you can identify that you have a need for it, like this replacing the 5 or 6 rooftop units for that historic Katofer building, That's a $400,000 project that had to be approved all the way up the chain and then by city council.
Mm-hmm.
So those methods are in there once you learn how to take advantage of them. But it requires like documentation. Why is this critical at this time? What's it going to cost? And there's a lot of effort involved, but I'm going to tell you, getting those new units will pay off and be worth all the effort.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. And so with that, grant opportunities, I mean, is there much in the way of grants for like facilities of places like the Miller Park Zoo?
We have to watch out for those. Like, they don't just sort of pop up. We work with the society, and they have several people that are experienced with grants. But actually, one of the reasons the city is helping us with these rooftop heaters, we're actually also doing some other upgrades internally to the Katofer building, because we do have an IDNR grant. It's a reimbursement grant for $750,000 that is specific to the Katofer building. We had a similar grant that we used for upgrades and when we were building the flamingo habitat and for South America. And I don't know like the availability if that cycles through, and with some changes in federal leadership, whether those grants will, remain available and those funds available, we'll see. But we do have this one that we are going to be able to do everything: infrastructure, heating upgrades, hopefully some new enclosures, some different things to the Katofer building as a result of this. And we're always watching for those. The city keeps their eye out for those. And we do apply for those when we actually have availability.
Gotcha. Very good. Well, Jay, I'll tell you what, my friend, let's break here and come back with some more. How do folks follow along with all things Miller Park Zoo in Bloomington?
Way to stay most current is following on our social media, Facebook and Instagram, also Miller Park Zoological Society's social media. You can also find either website on the city for the Miller Park Zoo or the Miller Park Zoological Society's website as well.
Sounds good. Jay Pratte is the executive director of the Miller Park Zoo in Bloomington, my guest on the Zoom. More to come with Jay on the morning show.
WHOW.
Spring will soon be here, and that means planting season. Now is the time to finalize your spring fertilizer and inputs. Hi, I'm Sean Bites from Maroa Ag, just north of Maroa. Maroa Ag has provided Central Illinois farmers with custom application, crop nutrients, and crop protection products for over 30 years. If you're looking for a business partner that will help you maximize your yield as you prepare for spring planting, come see us at Maroa Ag now. We're here to give you the one-on-one service you want and expect. Maroa Ag, your partner in the field this spring.
WHOW, Central Illinois' news, agriculture, and sports station, will be traveling to the Lincoln Police and Fire stations during February, broadcasting our morning show live. It's a way to say thank you to the courageous men and women that serve our local communities to keep us safe and protected. Whatever your emergency, they're always there for you and your families as they put their lives on the line each and every day. Be listening throughout February for these live broadcasts from the Lincoln Police and Fire stations as our WHOW morning show goes on the road, brought to you by these sponsors. Lincoln Printers, located at 711 Broadway in Lincoln, is proud to sponsor the Lincoln Police and Fire Department broadcast. Thank you for being there when we need you.
Are you wanting to learn more about your health and wellness options in Central Illinois? Visit stealthwellness.com or click on my banner ad at DeWittDailyNews.com. Let me, Dr. Bill Byers, show you some simple, under-the-radar ways to improve and take control of your health.
Netflix buffering, YouTube spinning, devices not connecting, Zoom calls dropping. It's frustrating. Let's end your frustration by signing up for fiber internet in Clinton. Click the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Jay Pratte, Executive Director of the Miller Park Zoo in Bloomington, our guest on the Zoom today. And Jay, I can't believe it, but a week from Saturday, it's going to be March, and that means the annual Stampede 5K for the Miller Park Zoo. How about this event right around the corner? I can't believe it.
I know. It's actually, we're really excited. The society plans this. This is one of the 3 big annual fundraisers for the society for the zoo. We readjusted the route. It's still going to go through the zoo a little bit. It's still, I believe, a certified race. There's going to be the same little mini race for the kids that go through the zoo, and then an opportunity afterwards. Anybody that wants to sign up, I know you can still register for this through the Miller Park Zoological Society's site. It's going to be a fun time. I think a good day, and the weather looks like it's improving. But even with these temperatures, last week they said that they had more registrants at this time than they had the previous year. So we're excited about this. I think it's going to be a good event.
I think people want to get out, Jay. I think they're tired of the winter. They need a reason to be outside.
I don't disagree. So we're looking forward to seeing them. And then, of course, this is one of like the last fundraisers that's going to contribute and will go to the carousel restoration project, which was fully funded by the society.
Yeah, nice. So tell us about the carousel. I remember that got sent off. Boy, what was that, over the summer? Maybe even spring last year.
That was a year ago.
Yeah,
that
nice.
thing's been gone for almost a year. They came in, they took great care in dismantling. It's a company called Carousel Relics. It's out of Ohio. They're some true artists. They took the whole thing apart piece by piece and shipped it off. They've been giving us some photo updates, and we're hoping it's coming back this spring one way or another. We haven't nailed down a date yet. We're hoping by Memorial Day that it will come back, but it is, from what I've seen in the photos in the different sections, it is going to be beautiful. They've had donors supporting the different animals, that were repainted and redone. We're going to install a new decorative fence around it. So this is going to be a big deal because, it, even in its previous condition, it was very popular and really struck a really nostalgic chord with families in this community. And I think everyone is going to be so excited when it comes back new and improved.
Nice. Now, will you do like any sort of grand re-revealing or something of that nature?
I'm going to leave that to the society. I suspect that, we will support them, through our social media, through that they would like to figure that out. They do want to be able to honor, their donors first and those that contributed to this. And then they're going to plan that through, and I'm here to support them through all of it. I'm just going to be excited to have it back and in beautiful condition, as opposed to, the reason we had to send it off in the first place.
Yeah, for sure. How much was that project, if you don't mind me asking?
So I know that they had, I don't know the final one cost total came in at, but I know that the restoration of the carousel itself was, the original estimate and projections were between $120,000 and $135,000.
Okay. Wow.
For full restoration.
Yeah.
Buying a new one, even that size, was going to be a minimum of $300,000, and then it's still not going to have the same nostalgia and appeal. So we're excited that our carousel is coming back.
Fantastic. Will they did they upgrade whether motors or anything like that to make it run? Did any of that stuff need improved?
So we've been doing that internally with the city. So while the society was taking care of the structure and all the repainting and the lights and the animals, we've been working on, there was a core structure. We've been repairing and upgrading the electrical, and we took that core structure, actually our park and rec team, they took it down through facilities, and during these colder winter months have been repairing, repainting, and, getting that structure resecured so that everything from, the middle on out is going to be almost as good as new.
Nice. Awesome. Will, when it is delivered, the restored pieces are delivered, will that interrupt the zoo day very much?
So they're going to deliver it in a big huge semi. It's probably going to block Morris Ave for a little bit, and they estimate that they can probably get the whole thing put together once they can stage the pieces and that in a few days. So it shouldn't disrupt normal operations. We're probably going to have to close off a few sections just for people's safety and that, but they should still be able to see most of the zoo and observe some of it in progress, because
Nice.
That carousel's right out in the open, so there's no really hiding that.
All right, very good. Look forward to that. And of course, you mentioned Stampede for this year is kind of the final push to support that effort. That's great stuff. So look forward to that. By the way, registration for the Stampede, can folks do that now, Jay? How do they do that, if so?
They can, and they should go. You can find the links on Facebook, or you can go directly to the Miller Park Zoological Society's website. All of the information will be there. Also, you can find the links on both their Facebook media and ours, because we've been posting about that pretty regularly.
All right, Jay, let's wrap it up. I've only got about a minute or so left, but how about, let's see, the Wolves? How are the Wolves doing?
Our wolves, we talked about their introductions before. Magnolia and Moonfire getting along very well. We've seen some adult reproductive behaviors. We're keeping an eye on and counting down just to see if it was successful, because they've got a 60 to 72 gestation period. So we're going to we're going to keep watching out, like, counting down those days and see if there's any physical changes in her that would indicate that maybe we're going to be lucky this year. And if not, it's their first winter together. We'll keep them around and see what goes on for next year. But they're getting along great. They like to come up to the window first thing in the morning and watch guests and keep an eye out for their keeper, and they're doing really well. We're really glad for it. And
Good
keep
deal.
everyone posted.
Good deal. Hey, Jay, how do folks learn more about all things Miller Park Zoo?
Go to the City of Bloomington's website and look for the zoo information there, the Miller Park Zoological Society's website, and of course, social media for both the zoo and the society. Facebook and Instagram will keep you current on everything we got going on.
Jay, always good to see you, my friend. Thanks for making time for us.
Absolutely.
That is Jay Pratte. He is the executive director of the Miller Park Zoo in Bloomington, our guest on the Zoom call today. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Network news comes your way next on the morning show.